So Vegas was a race that happened. It was your average Vegas race. It's a street race. Like, street races are not really some of the best F1 races there are. But, it was a really good atmosphere. Another sold out crowd in Vegas, which is one of the reasons why they keep going back here, is because of the crowd. And Vegas is still on the calendar for a long time, so get used to seeing this race still. Of course, all the celebrities out in full force. Like, any celebrity you could think of, they were there at the race, including Beyonce and her interesting wardrobe for the race. It was an interesting choice, to say the least. But yeah, and of course, there was a lot of rain throughout the weekend, too. Yeah, rain in the desert. Didn't have that on my bingo card. But the race was dry conditions. And, well, this race, literally the only real action this race came at the start. When Lando Norris tried to block Max Verstappen at the beginning, and then blocked Verstappen so hard Lando forgot that turn 1 still exists, and Lando completely overdrove turn 1, leaving it wide open for Verstappen to take the lead. And of course, while that was happening, we had all the chaos happen behind with Gabriel Bortoleto overdriving into turn 1 and launching himself straight into Lance Stroll, and crashing into a few others, including Liam Lawson, who had a wing damage. Just absolute anarchy at the start. And then F1 just had the interesting idea of keeping the race green while there were track marshals on the track in the turn 1 runoff area, cleaning up debris from the turn 1 chaos. Like, I understand it's the runoff area, but you have marshals on the track. If you're going to have marshals on the track cleaning stuff up, throw the safety car immediately, god damn it. Well, they eventually did throw it, but it was about a lap too late, and it was the virtual safety car. Like, for fuck's sakes. They're like, no shit, it was a miscommunication, but if you're going to have the marshals on the track, throw the damn safety car immediately. Don't fucking wait until it's too late. Because everyone knows the golden rule. You don't walk out onto an active racetrack under green flag conditions for no reason. Like, honestly, thank God nothing else happened there, because that could have been a whole lot worse. Like, seriously, did we all learn nothing from the Kevin Ward, Tony Stewart thing 11 years ago, for Christ's sakes? God damn it. When are people going to fucking learn that having people walk on an active racetrack in the middle of the night under green flag conditions is not a good idea? Just god damn it. But yeah, just F1 needs to get their fucking shit together with race control, because that was fucking embarrassing at the start to have the marshals on the track while it's green. Like, that is a massive safety hazard risk. Like, F1 needs to do better. But once everything was cleaned up and we got everything underway, well, it was just another average Vegas race. Outside of another safety car later, a few moments later, from debris on the track after Alex Albon made contact with Lewis Hamilton, a piece of his front wing fell off right into the middle of the track, which forced another virtual safety car. And then after that, it went green the rest of the way, but up front, all the action happened behind Verstappen, as Verstappen dominated the race from flag to flag. Effectively, Verstappen doing everything he needed to keep his slim championship hopes alive. Since Verstappen was in a must-win situation coming in, he needed to win this race to keep his hopes alive. Verstappen did exactly that. Won the race with ease, even though Lando looked like he had a chance late until Lando realized that he was pretty low on fuel and had to go into fuel-saving mode, which then just led Verstappen to easily cruise to the win. Yeah, Lando was trying to make up for his Lab 1 fuck-up, only to end up screwing himself over some more. But of course, Lando and George Russell would round out the podium, so Lando would keep the championship damage to a minimum, and then we get the ultimate scene at the end. With Verstappen, George Russell, and Lando Norris getting to take a ride in the cooldown car, and this year's cooldown car in Vegas was a pink 1950s Cadillac driven by Terry Crews. And this Cadillac ain't no ordinary one, because this one was made out of Legos. Yes, F1 really going all in on that whole F1 Lego thing. Since, everybody loves Legos. And the car actually drove pretty well. And then we get to the podium area, so Lando Norris, he gets the second place finish, and he gets to extend his lead in the Genjutsu. Hold up, we ain't done here yet. Because it's crazy that all the drama in this race happened post-race. Because, hold up, we got a couple penalties on McLaren. Beep, beep. Because both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris's cars were investigated and referred for the plank thickness on the bottom being too skinny. Because the planks on both cars did not meet the minimum thickness requirement. As a result, both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri will have been disqualified, which that shakes up the championship entirely. So with that double DQ for McLaren a double disaster, it just means that Verstappen was going to win the race anyway. So now it changes the podium up entirely, because now the podium is Verstappen P1, George Russell P2, and Kimi Antonelli, who was somehow able to go about 48 laps on a set of hard tires, ends up third. And he initially had a 5-second penalty for jumping the start, which I don't know where that jump to start was, because I watched the replay. It didn't look like he jumped it at all. It might have been a split second, but I don't think it would have had that big of an impact. But hey, even despite that, Kimi still ends up getting the last laugh. So yeah, Mercedes ends up reigning supreme in that. And also with this second place run, it means that George Russell is now guaranteed to finish 4th in the championship no matter what. So that will tie Russell's career best finishing point. So that ties his career. So it's another career year for Russell. If only now Russell just needs to be a little more consistent, and maybe he can start finishing 2nd or 3rd, or maybe even win a championship. But yeah, Russell will end up being the best of the rest in the terms of the non-top 3. But in terms of the championship, that double DQ for McLaren shakes it up, because before the DQ, Verstappen was about 42 points back. Now, Verstappen is only 24 points back in the championship. So yeah, that DQ caused an 18-point swing in the championship. To where now Verstappen, he's actually tied with Oscar Piastri for 2nd in the championship, 24 points behind Lando. Of course, Oscar has the tiebreaker over Max off most wins, 7-6. So that's the tiebreaker there. Actually, the top 3 are almost equal on wins, because Norris and Piastri have 7 wins each this year, and Verstappen's at 6 wins now this year. And also, this race was Verstappen's 69th career win in F1. 69 wins in F1? Nice. But yeah, the post-race is honestly more entertaining than this race itself, including the Mickey Mouse Fountain show, and that pawned by Caesar's Palace, which that was something. The one question I have for that is, when the fuck did Las Vegas become Disney World? God damn. It was still a pretty cool thing, including with the drones as well, because drone shows are always cool. But yeah, this was a Vegas race. That was for stats for sure. But this championship is now wide open with 2 races to go, as Verstappen's now within a race. Like, Verstappen went from having an outside shot at the title to now having a legit shot at a 5th straight championship. All I say is McLaren really about to fumble the bag to Verstappen. It's honestly looking like deja vu from 2007 when McLaren fumbled the championship to Kimi Räikkönen and Ferrari. We might be having deja vu nearly 18 years later, to where Verstappen might end up winning a 5th championship. Keep in mind, at one point in this championship, Verstappen was like 100 points back in this championship back in July, around Hungary. And from the Dutch GP to now, Verstappen has scratched and clawed his back. And let me just put this in perspective. No playoffs, no point resets or anything. Verstappen legitimately had to scratch and claw to get himself back into this title hunt. This is honestly why season-long points are the way to go and not no stupid playoff chase garbage. All I say in NASCAR is, the season-long points can work in this day and age and can create exciting championship battles if you just let it play out naturally and you stop playing fucking God with a bunch of manufactured bullshit. But yeah, this championship, anything can happen in the next 2 races as this title will be decided out in the Middle East. And next week in Qatar is also a sprint race. But even though Verstappen scratched and clawed his way back in, Lando still controls his own destiny entering Qatar. As Lando, he can still clinch the championship in Qatar by gaining at least 2 points on both Verstappen and Piastri. Like, Lando clinches the title in Qatar if he leaves 26 points ahead of both of them. If the gap is 25 points or less after Qatar, then the championship goes down to Abu Dhabi for the first time since 2021. Gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, but yeah. F1 still got a lot of work to do to dethrone NASCAR for the pinnacle of U.S. motorsports. I mean, it's gonna take a miracle for F1 to even have a chance to beat NASCAR. And what's gonna happen? Steve Phelps calling Richard Childress a stupid redneck? Yeah, that will never happen. That'll be the day. Oh.